Good, good. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another exciting live on the Health and Wellness Spot. This is Dr. Lewis, and it's a pleasure to have you here. I hope today we also get to have a good conversation about cancer and chemotherapy. Uh, Before I even begin, kindly allow me to know if my sound is clear because I don't want to start when my sound is still questionable. Specifically people on YouTube, kindly allow me to know if my sound is clear. Of course, my people on TikTok, it's ever clear. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you all of you for taking time to be here to have these conversations with us. As usual, this is the Health and Wellness Spot. We are going to talk about chemotherapy. What is chemotherapy? What is cancer chemotherapy? Okay, is it effective? Should we focus on preventing cancer more than treating? That is what we are here for. And this life is dedicated to one of my clients who passed on from cancer. May her soul rest in eternal peace. So I have decided to make this intentional, to educate the masses about chemotherapy and the side effects of chemotherapy. I will also mention radiation therapy, immunotherapy, surgery, but shortly. Our major basis for this conversation is cancer chemotherapy. That is what we're going to talk about. So make sure that those questions are well designed to suit this conversation, because I'm aware of people who come in with different questions. But again, I am excited to be here today. I don't know why I'm excited for this conversation. I've waited for a long time to have this conversation. We've had these conversations, of course, before, but this one is going to be interesting because we're going to point out how the side effects of chemotherapy come about, and if at all these chemotherapeutic agents are actually out to save lives, or people still suffer the consequences or the side effects of this chemotherapy. So welcome on board. Today, my people on YouTube are saying it is clear. This is interesting. So let me set up and look out people who always come to bring noise when we're having these good conversations on YouTube. Now, once again, I am excited because we have hit 25,000 mark. Man, it's been a year of work and we've hit 25,000. I think it's 25,100 already. It's a pleasure for all of you to just be here to support us, to buy the idea of the information that we're giving you. It's alternative healthcare and alternative medicine. It is working for those of you who are trying to practice it, and we are glad that you are trusting us with your health. Now, health, as always, is your first wealth. This is a home of unlearning, learning, and relearning. The information that you've logged yourself in for the longest period of time, this is the time to actually reverse that and learn that. So come on this live with an open mind, a mind to learn. I will also, and I always learn from you. When I start having these conversations, I always learn from you. And that's the beauty about this conversation. So thank you so much for joining in. And just allow me to finish this before we begin. Now, of course, when you start talking about such conversations, there's a way YouTube starts to limit the monetizations. Of course, we will end up upsetting some people. But again, we are not here to sugarcoat stuff. We are here to educate. We are here to inform. We are here to change lives for the better. And that is what we signed in for. And the beauty is we are doing it over and over again. So let me just set up this right way. Good. So welcome, my people on TikTok. All of you are here, and it's a pleasure to have you. And my people on YouTube, allow me to say some hi to some individuals here as usual. Before we begin this, Safi is always on top of the list of people who are always logged in on YouTube. I appreciate you, Safi. And if you're on TikTok and if you've never visited my YouTube page, kindly do so. It's Health and Wellness Sport. Go there, subscribe, be part of the health train that is moving at a very, very rapid speed. You need to be a member. Good. Number two, we have an online booking possibly for the consultations. So if you're interested in physical consultations or online consultations, you can easily book your slot through the contact that I will provide on my platforms. that I'll pin here, so that and this contact is available on both my bio on TikTok. It's available on my YouTube. It's also available on literally every YouTube video that I post. That contact for consultation is there. There's a dark black pinning here that is written on Dr. Lewis consultation. Please be reading that. Mickey has pinned it on TikTok. Thank you so much, Mickey. Most of you ignore that contact and then you start asking me in the comment section, what is your consultation contact? And I tell you it's already there on the videos. That means you never even watch those videos. Okay? So take keen of that. I put there intentionally for the sake of the consultations, if in case you feel that you've not gotten enough from those videos and you want to consult us. However, don't come in thinking that the information will come for free. I'll put information on my Telegram channel, and if you're not on my Telegram channel, kindly join in. Health and Wellness Sport again. I'll put information on my Facebook page, Lewis Muchile. I'll put information on my Instagram page, Dr. Lewis Muchile. I've put information on YouTube in videos. I've put other information, though minimal, on TikTok. And every single information that you will require from us is on these platforms. So therefore it will be very disturbing if you again come back or come in, you want my time, and then you're asking me if it's free. It is not free. We don't consult for free. So please, those people who are always asking me, are you consulting? Are you paying? Are we paying for these consultations? Yes, you're paying for that consultation, because again, I am not there to give you all this information and still spoon feed you. It's not fair. It's not fair. By the time you're asking that question, you even know that is not fair. So yes, Safi, how are you? Winnie Disu, good evening. How are you? Beatrice Waithira is in the building. I see Josh J. Opande. Welcome on board. How are you? I see Steve Lago. I see Augustine Odindo, Professor Simon Waidanji. Professor, welcome on board. And I see Virginia Thomas. I see Atieno Joyce, Hannah Kimani, Daniel Kialo. Is it Kialo or Chalo? Then I see Boaz. I see Sianda. I see Grace Njenga, Ken Rayola, Jacob Njoki. Hey, Grace Ntiwik, Felicitas Atideke, Cecilia, Anne Mashari. I also see you. I see Lydia Mohongo. I see Carol Mitei. I see Mickey in the building. I see Tattoos by D. I also see Wango Kigundu. I see Mildred Okola. I see Kamau. I see who else? James Kosoa and Carol Njeri. Rachel Lavenda is also in the building. Boaz, I see you. I see Derek Kirimi. And then Anne Masharia of Oz. Pixel Craze, Kefa Ogwell, and Charlotte Musyoki. And the last one is Elizabeth Nyabanga. Eliza Nyabanga. So welcome on board. Thank you so much for joining in. It is Friday. It's a good Friday for all of us. We are here to learn. I know you have busy schedules, but you always take some time to be here to just have these conversations with us, and we say thank you. We also say thank you for making us reach 25,000 subscribers on YouTube and helping us to reach 67,000 people and followers on Facebook and reaching 164,000 people on TikTok. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. 5,000 people on both Instagram and X, formerly known as Twitter. This is just amazing. Okay, that tells you that there's something that we are pushing, there's something that you can relate to, and it's easy when we explain it, because this is why we explain healthcare in a language that you can easily understand. Now, straight to the point. This session is designed specifically for cancer chemotherapy. The word chemotherapy is actually misused. You will hear everybody saying, you know, my sister went for chemo, my cousin went for chemo. That word chemotherapy does not necessarily mean medication that are supposed to help you alleviate or treat cancer. No. Chemotherapy basically means that you're using a chemical substance to kill or destroy or even inhibit the growth of a cell that is invading in the body. But that agent, that medicine that you're using, has minimal or zero side effect to the host cell. Hello, this is for the students. This is the definition for chemotherapy. Okay? So chemotherapy is using a chemical agent to alleviate or destroy an invading parasite or microorganism with minimal or zero side effects to the host cells. This means you have an invading cell which is new to the body and the immune system of the body. And now you have your immune system targeting this. But the immune system is unable to do that. So therefore you have to supplement your immune system. And how do you supplement it? You give it a medication. This is why I always tell you that drugs are not necessarily supposed to treat or kill the entire condition. What drugs do is they come in to lower the multiplication or the growth of these microorganisms, and then your immune system takes over. Okay, this is where you people mess, because you think drugs are coming in to kill everything, kill the microorganisms, and then protect you. No, that is not true. The drugs that you're taking are actually just coming in to assist your immune system, because it's already now it's unable to handle this case. So it needs some form of input, some form of ammunition, so that it can use that as it boosts itself. Now, this part of boosting your immunity is where you guys go wrong, because you forget to talk about it. And you will see, even when you're talking about cancer, rarely will you hear doctors or oncologists or even nutritionists talking about the nutrition aspects of this therapy. You can never treat cancer, and I put that treat. You can never treat cancer without boosting your immunity. Why? Because your immunity is the one that will take over the chemotherapeutic agents, and number one, help you fight the invading cancer cells, and number two, help you recover from the side effects of the chemotherapeutic agents. Understand that. So immunity is there specifically to help you recover from even the side effects of those chemotherapeutic agents that you're using, even the radiation. So that is chemotherapy, and that is by definition. But look at it this way. Cancer is basically your cells, but they have evaded the cell cycle. So here it's where it gets interesting. We have a cell cycle, just like a life cycle. Remember when we talked about HIV? We talked about the life cycle of HIV. Now here we have a cell cycle. Now this cell cycle is where cells are born, they multiply, they go through mitosis and meiosis, and then they yield differential cells. And then when they leave this cell cycle as adult cells, they can go and differentiate and do something else. But this cell cycle regulates this life cycle of a cell. From the time it's born, from the time it multiplies, and until the time it dies, it's regulated by a cell cycle. This cell cycle is actually also regulated by hormones. Hormones. That is where the challenge comes in. So when a cell evades or escapes the cell cycle, it is not able to be controlled by these hormones, because these hormones rely on just limiting the cell's growth through this cycle. But when the cell gets a way to evade that cell cycle, of course, through DNA destruction. So sometimes we alter the structure of DNA, and then these cells cannot be recognized by that hormonal control or that the chemical control of the system. So it evades the cell cycle, and when it comes out of the cell cycle, it starts to misbehave. But remember this, all of us make these cells on a daily basis. But how did God create us? The perfect architect is God. So what did God do? God designed the immune system to actually destroy any cell that is evading this cell cycle. Because the immune system has to understand that if this cell evades this cell cycle, disaster is looming, because this cell can end up multiplying rapidly, and then as it's multiplying rapidly, its mechanisms will overwhelm your immune system. Once they overwhelm your immune system, that will mean that now you are unable to control it. And that's how tumor starts to happen. That's how cancer starts to occur. And now we cannot take this cell back into the cell cycle because it's already evaded. So your immune system clears it up. But look at this. These cells that evaded the cell cycle came from your own stem cells and came from your own body system, which basically means, from the definition of chemotherapeutic agents, you need a medication or a chemical that is going to target this cell that has evaded the cell cycle and destroy it without causing any harm to your own cells that are part of this cell cycle. If you're thinking, you start to realize that is very difficult, because this cell has the same components as your normal cells, only that it evaded the cell cycle, so definitely it is now overreacting. So the challenge with cancer medication, the so-called chemotherapy. So when I say cancer chemotherapy, that's now specific. The drugs that are used to eliminate cancer cells with limited or less or no side effects to your cells. But you see, these cells evaded the cell cycle, which means, of course, they're your own cells. That is where the challenge comes in chemotherapy, because now it becomes difficult for you to start treating cancer. Because if you give a chemotherapeutic agent to target your host cells, how are you sure that these drugs will target only your cells and not only the cancer cells and not other cells? Yet they have the same structure, they have literally almost everything is the same, only that they evaded the cell cycle and started misbehaving. That's where the challenge comes in with chemotherapeutic agents for cancer. Now, rewind and let's go back a little bit. Cancer, when you are diagnosed with cancer, of course, there are different things that are done for you to be now confirmed that you are a cancer patient and you need chemotherapy or you need attention, medical attention for that matter. This is where I got a lot of challenges. I realized in Kenya, counties like Marsabit, counties like Isiolo, Meru, Wajir, and Mandera, and even Garissa, these are counties that people consume or chew a lot of miraa. When people are chewing this miraa, they are using maybe a chewing gum or groundnuts. Chewing gum is sugar. They are using soda or energy drinks. And then they drink water, bottled water. So it's a package, like a miraa package. When you're buying that miraa or mogoka, as famously known, you're buying that plus soda, plus maybe sugar. Some of you use sugar. And nowadays, people are even using amoxicillin, the antibiotics, to chew miraa. Miraa is cut. For those people who are not Kenyans, miraa is what we call cut. It's a stimulant of the CNS. It contains amphetamines, and these amphetamines stimulate the central nervous system, and that's why they don't sleep. They get these false illusions. They just create stories all over, and it's totally a mess. So they lack sleep because of just chewing that cut. So these people, they use that. Soda is sugar. Now they're using antibiotics, which is a problem. But this miraa are being sprayed. They are being sprayed with glyphosate, the chemicals, to just control herbs and pests. Now they're chewing this, and then remember the following day, they go and take either diazepam or they take amitriptyline. These are drugs that depress the CNS. Now, number one, how crazy is that? That you have to stimulate the CNS to just depress it later. This is a system that can operate on its own. It can get stimulated by a biological clock. It's called the circadian rhythm. It can wake and sleep when time is right. But you decide, I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to chew this product. You chew it, you stop yourself from sleeping, and the following day, you are having problems with sleep. Now you're asking me, how can I help myself? If actually you're on these platforms, how can you even answer that question? Somebody is asking me, how can I get out of these side effects of chewing miraa? But when I was sleeping, you're busy chewing, you're busy stimulating your CNS, you're busy going against the body's way of living, you're busy going against the biological clock. And now in the morning you don't have sleep. And because you're idle, of course, because how then would you sleep during the day when people are working? So now, during the day you want to sleep, you don't have sleep. Now when you don't have sleep, you want a medication to come in and help you fix what you caused your body. You go and take either diazepam, and nowadays diazepam is being sold over the counter. Number two, you go and take amitriptyline. Amitriptyline is an antidepressant. So you're taking drugs for depression to actually help you suppress your overreacting central nervous system. And then now, of course, you're forgetting that you're going to suffer the side effects of these medications. Of course, you'll come back with the side effects and you need another drug to calm your side effects. But that aside, when you wake up or when you want to spit that product out of your mouth, I realized most of these people run to the pharmacies to take esomeprazole, pantoprazole, or omeprazoles. So these people are always suffering chronic gastritis. And of course, before they started the program, they ate a lot of bad foods, the inflammatory foods. And if you are from these counties, you know how the Kushite generation, the Kushite people, how they abuse seed oils. They actually cook literally everything with seed oils. They use a lot of sugar. They even add sugar in rice. And then they eat a lot of processed carbohydrates, the spaghettis, the macaroni. And then now they are seated here chewing miraa and taking soda. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Why? Because one, this miraa that has been sprayed with glyphosates, you are actually chewing chemicals that are actually going to predispose you to cancer. That is one. Number two, you are actually using sugar and loading your system with sugar. And cancer survives on sugar because there are two energy sources of cancer. One is glutamine. Glutamine is an amino acid that is present in literally all foods. It's very hard to avoid it. But the beauty about it is that this glutamine is the lowest form of energy for cancer cells. About 5 to 10% of cancer energy comes from the glutamine. When you hear people telling you that stop eating foods that are rich in monosodium MSG, monosodium glutamate, that is a form of glutamine. But the synthetic one, the original one, or the organic one is in foods. The genetic one and the synthesized one, the lab one, is the one that is present in that processed food, in that those what are they called? These products that we dip in water to just make quick foods, the noodles. It is present in the milk, the powdered milk. It is present in most spices. You know those spices, those cubes that you use to make your sukuma wiki taste like it has meat? That is MSG. And then you start wondering, I ate spices yesterday and I got gastritis. That is MSG destroying your gut. But it's interesting how people will change the story and start blaming the chili peppers. When I eat chili peppers, I get gastritis. But they've taken chili peppers with that cube. I don't want to mention the name. If you know the name, you can mention it in the comment section. They consume that cube and then they add chili peppers. Now they blame the chili peppers because somebody told them chili peppers. Yes, that is the name. Koi, that's the name. So they will chew that, they'll eat or consume the chili peppers. Well done, check. But they'll add on the processed spices and then blame the chili peppers because that's how we are designed anyway. Yes, Vinny, that is the answer on YouTube. So yes, so when you're doing these cubes, you're thinking that you're actually making your food taste as though the sukuma wiki has meat because it's low budget. And that cube, I think, is about 5 shillings per cube. But you see, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're loading your system with MSG. And MSG is monosodium glutamate. That is one source of food for cancer cells. That is one source of issues, actually mutations that will start in your DNA and your mitochondria, sorry. So you're actually initiating the process of cancer cells to start misbehaving. You're initiating this process of these cells evading the cell cycle because you're going to mess up the DNA. And then the glutamine in that MSG will start feeding the cancer cells that are actually evading the cell cycle. What do you expect after that? So when I tell you to stay away from processed spices, please listen. Listen. Those people did not design those. There is no meat in that product. There's no chicken in that cube. There's none. It is MSG that masks your taste buds so that you get to taste foods in their unnatural forms. So you think foods are sweet. That chicken that you eat all the time at that sweet junction of yours, the one that you line every Tuesday to just get the crunchy chicken, that is MSG. It's going to mask your taste buds and it's going to mess your system generally. It is highly inflammatory, and remember, cancer spreads so fast through inflamed tissues. So not only are you giving it glutamine to survive, to feed on, you start by initiating DNA mutations so that it can evade the cell cycle. That is one. Number two, you weaken your immunity so that these cells can actually survive. Number three, you provide glutamine, which is food for these cells, the cancer cells. And number four, you create inflammation in the system and cancer spreads faster through inflamed cells. Those clients that we've had conversations on cancer, it is so annoying that these people are still on seed oils and nobody mentioned it to them. They've done 8 sessions of chemotherapy. They have done 7 sessions of radiation. They've even gone for breast surgery, breasts removed. They've been given those silicone breasts. And then, of course, radiation was done so that to prevent further spread of cancer, to prevent. The word is to prevent further spread of cancer. So now, they're still consuming those processed spices. They are still eating sausages and smokies. They are still eating canned foods. They are still eating sugar in all forms, including fruits and honey. They are still consuming wheat products. They are still drinking alcohol, but in moderation. Daktari said in moderation. So they're actually feeding the cancer and then creating inflammation in the system where this cancer can actually spread. Because cancer spreads so fast through inflamed tissues. So now it's time for us to face realities. So when you've now been diagnosed of cancer, the next stage is either you get counseling, then you go for the treatment. And every time you hear you've been diagnosed with cancer, everybody gets into a panic mode. Because the image that has been painted to us about cancer is basically a death sentence. You're dying, you're going to die. Some people have even been told, now you are at stage 4, now you're going to die. You need only 5 months to die. Even though you're going to take the chemotherapy, you still die. But let me go back to the story of the mirror. As they're chewing this mirror, they get the gastritis. They keep on taking omeprazoles and antacids, and they mask symptoms of gastritis. This is one of the reasons why, by the time you are diagnosed with stage 4, or by the time you're being diagnosed with cancer, the gastric cancer, and these counties have high rates of gastric cancer. By the time they are being diagnosed with this stage, this cancer, it's a stage 4 or stage 3. The throat cancer, the gastric cancer, the colon cancer, stage 3 or stage 4. Why? Because all the time they are lining the pharmacies to buy omeprazoles and desomeprazoles. So they're actually basically masking the symptoms every other evening. Every other morning they spit the mirror, now it's time to sleep, they take diazepam. When they wake up, they have gastritis, they take omeprazole, and then they eat. They eat the same foods that led them to where they are. And then tonight, during the night, they are chewing the same herbs, the same mirror that brought them where they are. Now, those cases will not stop. Why? We will walk with placards on the roads. We will demonstrate about how cancer is dangerous and how cancer one day it will die. But nothing will happen. We will actually be increasing the rates of people who are suffering from cancer. The numbers will keep on skyrocketing. As we carry those placards, as we bring in those NGOs, as we pretend to be caring about people who have cancer, and then the whole day we've been pretending to care about people who have cancer, and in the evening or in the afternoon we are there cutting a cake to celebrate that day, the Cancer Awareness Day. We are cutting the cakes, we are drinking soda, we are toasting. We are passing a message that cancer will one day die. But cancer cannot die when you're still feeding on the same things. It will get worse. Let's be realistic. Let's not sugarcoat things for the sake of content. Let's not sugarcoat things for the sake of likes and views. Let's be honest with each other. That if you have cancer, it's high time you start dropping those foods. Don't ever rely on these chemotherapeutic agents or the radiation or immunotherapy or hormonal therapy to change your life, or even surgery. That is fixing the symptoms. When you do away with the breasts, you've not done away with the high estrogen in the system that caused the breast cancer. When you chop off the intestines and replace them, you have not fixed what caused those intestines to go wrong, because the body is always struggling to get a balance. The problem is we keep on feeding the body with non-nutritious foods, worst products, industrially processed products. And the immune system is struggling to find the ammunition. So you have a gun, yes, but it's not loaded. And the tags are here. So how do you expect that gun to protect you? Even if that tag comes with a slap, you will give in. Because you don't have any confidence, you don't have any army to help you fight these conditions. So as we insist on chemotherapeutic agents and drugs or therapy for cancer, including surgery, let us also be vigilant. There was a time I went on a TikTok live for this lady. There's a lady who is actually championing breast cancer awareness and survivors. So ladies come there to share their stories about how their breasts were removed. And these ladies are half naked. I know most of you have seen that. This lady was actually shot a video on top of a lorry without a top, without anything, just showing people the aftermath of the surgery of the breasts that were removed. So through showing them that, you're trying to motivate them to prevent cancer. You're telling them to go for screening. And I tell people, mammography, when you go for mammography screenings, you are going to expose yourself. Of course, I'm not against this. And by the way, This channel, the content that I share on this channel is not supposed to actually come in and replace your doctor's prescriptions or your doctor's advice. Follow your doctor's advice to the latter. This is to open up your mind. So this is a lady who has her breasts chopped off, and she's showing them out so that you see that she's so confident. Now listen, you can champion a journey for cancer survival without showing us your nakedness. Let's be honest. You can still tell us that your breasts were removed and we will still believe because we don't see them. You don't have to show us the scars for us to believe. Of course, seeing is believing, but this is a very sensitive field. Now, when we start analyzing her journey, we start analyzing what she eats even now, the same person who is still championing for breast cancer survival, for breast cancer and chemotherapy, well, you just get tired. You just get tired. The foods that they are eating, she actually prepares meals on live on TikTok without a top. Without a top. Because she wants you to buy the idea, the sympathy. Listen, when you are diagnosed with any disease, don't expect any sympathy from anybody. Don't expect to see any sympathy from anybody. Nobody cares. If you went through chemotherapy successfully, well done. But you see, we don't care. That, let me just be honest, nobody cares. You walk that journey and you walked it alone. That's why we were not there when you were walking through that journey. And it's okay to share your story. It's okay to share your story. But simply no, we don't care. We might act, because human beings have this thing inside them to act as though they do care. They don't. They don't. They don't. If they do, they will actually, if actually you do actually yourself, you do care about preventing cancer, you will not be cooking these foods, you will not be using the seed oils. But I understand the misinformation that is out there is the one that is messing people up. But anyway, that story aside, let's go back to our journey. 4 ways, or even 5, or even 6 for treatment of symptoms of cancer. Number 1 is surgery. But before you do surgery, of course, radiation can be there so that you can just, and the chemotherapy, so that you freeze those cells in one place so that you can easily remove them through surgical removal. Well done. So we give you chemotherapy to target the cancer cells, to make sure they don't spread, and now to get rid of them. But listen to this. I said cancer spreads so fast through inflamed tissues, right? So you tell me, how is chemotherapy going to confine these cells at one place for you to do away, to just carry out a surgery and remove those cells, and then do a radiation to just kill the remaining cells? How are you going to do that when you have not fixed what these people are eating? How? They are still eating foods that are actually causing systemic inflammation. So how then are you going to tell me I'll take this drug and this drug will come in to fix the inflammation? It is not going to fix the inflammation. I will only fix inflammation through fixing my kitchen. So as much as I want to take this drug to concentrate these cancer cells or the tumors at one place so that I can easily extract them through surgery, how about me creating room for the spread of these cancer cells? How? How will I do that? And as you eat those, because imagine, they have done these surgeries, they've done this chemotherapy, and miraculously God came through, because of course, chemotherapy came in handy. So you get your healing. But you know that soon you might come back. You know very well. You're even scared within. You just can't say it. But inside you, you're scared. Possibly this can come back. And they will even tell you. And as we'll be talking about the side effects of chemotherapy, you'll get to understand that one of the major side effects of cancer drugs is actually cancer. Take a minute and think about that. Take your time and think about it. So you have radiation. And radiation is basically, we put that tissue or a specific place of the body that is actually affected or infected, we expose it to very high intensity of rays and the radiation. Now, word on the streets is that doctors or those doctors who carry out the x-rays, the radiographers, they end up suffering issues with fertility. A doctor who is always doing x-rays, carrying out or helping in diagnosis of patients who basically have pneumonia and that, and is being exposed to this radiation, the x-rays and all that, they end up suffering infertility. Some of them die from cancer that is caused by radiation. Now we want to add this radiation and expose it to one tissue so that it gets to clear the cancer cells. Now remember, radiation is non-specific. We are not targeting just those cancer cells. The radiation will react the same way to other cells. So what is the end result? You know better. Number 2 is surgery. If you realize, radiation is trying to fix the symptom, not the cause. And I'll tell you the cause. And of course, most of you know the cause already. Surgery is removing this. Take a good look at ladies who carry out a surgery for fibroids. Then 2-3 years down the line, they are back with another fibroid. Why? Because you just removed the lumps and the growths, but you did not fix what caused the growths, which is estrogen. So if you don't fix the estrogen, of course, we expect you to come back. And that is how the big pharma is designed. That's how the medical field is designed. Come back. Well done. Come back. We have this solution for you. Anyway, that is surgery. Still fixing the symptoms just the same way radiation does. Number 3 is hormonal therapy. This is where your hormones are messed up, so you try to fix it using other hormones. Number 4 is immunotherapy. Immunotherapy is basically us trying to give you something that will boost your immunity. Now listen to that keenly. Listen to that keenly. That we give you a drug or a substance that is supposed to boost your immunity, instead of just telling you, stop what you've been eating that lowered your immunity. Start fasting to boost your immunity. Free therapy. We have to give you a medication, or we have to give you a substance that is coming in to boost your immunity. So of course we have an idea that cancer cannot survive when your immunity is coming up. But we don't want you to fix that immunity. No. We want to be the ones who actually dispense to you a drug or a nutrition supplement or a compound that is going to boost your immunity. If you've been on this channel for long, you are brighter than that. That nothing is coming in to boost your immunity when you're still lowering your immunity through the kitchen. Nothing is coming in to fix what you're causing yourself. Nothing. Let's be honest. And the reason why I put up this live is because I wanted us to be as honest and as rogue as possible with this issue of cancer. Just the same way we went rogue on the issues of HIV, we're going to go rogue and hard on these issues of cancer. Because sometimes we sit back and we think, are we killing our people? Are we here for the business? If we are here for the business, why don't we just be straightforward that this is business? Why don't we be bold enough to inform people that yes, these chemotherapeutic agents are going to change your life? And that word, underline that word, change. They are going to change your life. And most importantly, you might recover, but how about the aftermath of the chemotherapeutic agents? The aftermath. Know this, that these chemotherapeutic agents are targeting rapidly multiplying cells. Now we are going straight to the side effects of these drugs. When you're targeting rapidly multiplying cells, I want you to understand where the side effects are coming from. So when you take, let's say, doxorubicin, that's one of the chemotherapeutic agents. And just before I go there, there's a plant. I want you to Google a plant that is called Catranthus roseus. I wish I can explain that. I wish I can write that so that you can actually understand it. I want you to Google that plant. Let me just post it here. Let me just put it on these platforms. I want you to find that drug. I want you to Google that plant right now. All of you, and come back and tell me. Let me just put it also here on TikTok. It's called Catranthus roseus. Now, roseus. I hope I've written right. Good. I want you to go and Google that plant. I've pinned that comment on TikTok. I've also pinned the message on YouTube. Now, I want you to Google that drug. Not that drug, it's a plant actually. I want you to Google that plant and see if you know that plant. How many of you know that plant? How many of you have seen that plant? Catranthus roseus. Anderson says, I'm seeing it. Well done. How many of you know that plant actually? How many of you do know that plant? If you know that plant, I will not move until we know. I know it. Yes, people know it. Never heard of it. No, don't think about what you've heard about it. I want you to Google it and see the picture. Just go to the images and see it. Catranthus roseus. Just use that name, Google it and see. That plant is actually in our homesteads, right? Yes, everybody says I know it. It is actually in our homesteads, and it has pink flowers, others have white flowers. So as we were growing up, we knew this plant as a flowery plant. We actually used to smell it, and it was actually being planted for the aesthetic value in the compounds. But you see, and this plant is still all over in your compounds. This is the same plant that produces an anti-cancer drug. Do you know that? This is a plant that is used to produce anti-cancer agents, and specifically for cancers that come in children, the Burkitt's lymphoma and all that, even the leukemias. That drug is called vincristine, and there's another one called vinblastine. Those are the two anti-cancer drugs that come from that plant, and we've been ignoring it all through. So now, as usual, as Africans, we have to wait for people to come and take these plants, go process them, get the vincristine and vinblastine from them, make a solution that they come to inject you with. Some of our herbs are very necessary in form of the spices. So when somebody tells you that spices are going to cause you gastritis, look at them and just start laughing. This is the same person who tells you that don't use chili pepper, you'll get gastritis. But the same person brings you the cubes, the R cubes. The same person brings you processed spices with preservatives, with MSG, with nitrates. Imagine that. Anduk is saying, very beautiful. We used to apply Q-Tex on our nails. Yes. This is a plant that we used to play around with, but now it comes in a vial or an ampule that is very expensive as an anti-cancer agent. If you Google that plant, you will see it is actually a source of two medications for cancer therapy. One is vincristine, the other one is vinblastine. How amazing. So therefore, God put all the solutions in Africa, but we always ignore them. We always ignore them because we think we are so smart, and that's why we are stuck in the syllabus, in the guidelines. Ask a doctor anything, they still sing about the guidelines. They still sing about the peer-reviewed papers because they are so brainwashed and conditioned to think in a certain way. But anyway, today I will not go that direction. So, cancer drugs, the chemotherapeutic drugs, and this is for the respect of people who are suffering from cancer. The best way to treat or to prevent cancer is through changing the kitchen, eating clean and fasting. Listen to that statement alone and you can quit, you can leave this life. The best way to treat or to prevent cancer is to fix the kitchen and to start fasting. And I will explain why. Let me just put that there. You fix the kitchen and you start fasting. So I'll explain this. But let's continue. So the chemotherapeutic agents, they target rapidly multiplying cells, and cancer cells are of course rapidly multiplying. So what do? They kill these rapidly multiplying cells. Now your body has a lot of organs and tissues that have rapidly multiplying cells. One of those organs is your GIT, the gut. Now remember what you said in the beginning? Every time we say about, what do we say about the gut? Before you start fixing any chronic or health condition, fix the gut. We keep singing that. I have even put out videos on my YouTube just labeled the gut, the gut. Go on my YouTube Health and Wellness Spot and simply type gut, Health and Wellness Spot, gut. You will see so many videos that I'm talking about the gut and how to fix the gut. Why am I always talking about fixing the gut? And you people ignore it thinking that now there's another solution. When I tell somebody fix the gut, they think, but I have arthritis. Why would I fix the gut? I'm telling you fix the gut because the gut is the source of that arthritis. I am diabetic, doctor. Should I fast? You fix the gut if you're diabetic or you're not. Why? Because the gut is very important, and the gut has rapidly multiplying cells. Imagine you can mess that gut for 5 decades, but you need about 14 to 28 days to fix the same gut. The same to the liver. So the body is designed perfectly to actually protect you. So this gut, you know very well, when you're burnt by something, let's say you took something hot, maybe tea or coffee or a hot potato, and you got burnt in your mouth, you get the sores. How long does it take for you to clear those sores? Let me see those people who listen to their bodies. If you burn your mouth with tea, and then you have those peelings from your mouth, the epithelial cells in the mouth are destroyed. How long does it take you to fix that mouth? Somebody is saying 3 days. It will never take you 3 days. It cannot get to 3 days. It cannot even get to a day. It's very minimal time, because these cells that line the mouth all the way to they are rapidly multiplying. So you get new cells every time. Every time you burn yourself, you remove that shit in your mouth, and the next hour you're feeling okay. You even forgot. And also remember, your saliva has enzymes, has hormones, has this mucus, and everything that is supposed to fix, even immune cells. And the painkillers, the natural painkillers, are in saliva. So they fix that problem so fast that you will not even realize. So you bite yourself, and the next an hour or two, you're okay already, because those cells have been worn out already. You've replaced them with new cells. But that is because they are rapidly multiplying. What does that tell you? That tells you that cancer chemotherapy, the drugs for cancer, will target these mouth cells. This is the reason why number one side effect is oral, the ulcers and the gastritis, because the cancer cells target these rapidly multiplying epithelial cells non-selectively. As they are targeting the rapidly multiplying cancer cells, they are also targeting your rapidly multiplying normal cells, and therefore you end up having issues with your mouth, the ulcers in the mouth. The ulcers and gastritis, they'll tell you they have all these issues. Cancer drugs target the GIT because of rapidly multiplying cells. You know very well, if you've gone through an experience with chemo, once you injected that chemo, you will need an antiemetic. You'll need a drug to stop you from vomiting. That is ondansetron, that is mostly used. This ondansetron is going to stop you from vomiting as a side effect of the chemotherapeutic agent. Now listen, it has not even started helping you recover from cancer. You're already having side effects. So before you even get the effects of this drug, you're having the side effects already. Hello? Yeah? This is the same concept to there's a lady and a celebrity couple in the United States that just got married for 72 hours. Do you know them? And I saw a clip saying that they took the longest time to select their wedding gown, but it took them 72 hours, shorter time to get a divorce or to separate than it took them to get a wedding dress. Does this mean that most expensive weddings lead to the shortest marriages? You take a whole 6 months looking for a wedding dress, the best, the mermaid dress, ladies, the best gown. Yes, somebody knows them already. Those celebrity couples that we follow all the time blindly. You follow their shows on television. They took a lot of time to just find a wedding gown, but took only 72 hours. So the question is, did the lady carry the gown? Hey, it gets interesting with time. When you start looking and analyzing these things deeper, you start seeing the bigger meaning about it. So does it mean that the most expensive weddings are actually going to lead to the shortest marriages? Anyway, so story for another day. So imagine you're taking in chemotherapeutic agent through your vein, and before it even helps you fight cancer, you're already vomiting. You're already getting the side effects of that drug. Do you relate? Hey, I thought I should get recovery, then I get the side effects as the drug continues. But I'm getting the side effects before I even get the therapy. Ah! I think I'm overthinking. No, let's take some water. Now, we are on a 72-hour fast. We are, I think, at the 30th or 35th hour or so. So we are going again tomorrow with no food, just water and salt. And then we are going to eat on Sunday afternoon. Some of us will eat on Sunday evening. So it's a 72-hour fast. Do you know why we're doing that fast? Because we are healing chronic inflammation, because we are healing the gut as number one, because we are healing all these diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, back pains. We are healing our brains and getting BDNF, the brain-derived neurotropic factor, to make sure that our mental clarity is okay. Our nerves are getting rejuvenated. We are losing weight. We are burning fat because we are going in a calorie deficit state. We are lowering our insulin, burning fat. We are balancing our hormones, specifically this estrogen. We are lowering estrogen down and boosting testosterone. Men who have erectile dysfunction, this is your time. Women who have hormonal imbalances, basically estrogen dominance, this is your time. So we are fasting to make sure that estrogen goes down and men become able, they are able now to handle their emotions, because most men, the modern generation men, are super emotional, they are chaotic because of high estrogen levels. So fasting is very important for you. Therefore, you can even start now and join in until Sunday. That will be a 48-hour fast. Join in. We are also trying to heal inflammation so that cancer does not spread. We're also going to get ketone bodies as alternative sources of energy to glucose. And these are energy molecules that cancer cells don't know how to utilize. Therefore, we are going to heal ourselves from cancer because we are going to deny cancer cells the energy for the food, which is glucose, because cancer survives on glutamine and glucose. When you're fasting, none of the two is coming in. Therefore, cancer cells cannot even multiply. And then you're supplying them with ketone bodies, which are coming from burning fat. Now, ketone bodies are the best energy sources for your brain. That's why when you're fasting, your mental clarity is high. Your spirituality is fixed because you're reconnecting with your spiritual world and the realm. So you're denying cancer cells the energy. You're giving them ketone bodies that are anti-inflammatory, which basically clear inflammation in the system. Therefore, cancer cannot spread. We are also denying cancer glucose because when we are serving them ketone bodies, cancer cells don't know how to utilize ketone bodies. They love glucose. They love environment that is highly acidic, basically a pH of 5.5. They love an environment that is low in oxygen. So what are we doing? As we are enjoying the sun, as we are breathing good air, as we are having our sleep, and good sleep comes with fasting, as we are denying ourselves eating intentionally, not shakahola, we are denying ourselves intentional, not that we cannot afford the food, but we just want to stay away from food for some time to fix our systems. We are suppressing cancer. Oh goodness. How? And it's free. Fasting is free. This means if you are not on my Telegram channel, Health and Wellness Spot on Telegram, you're missing out. Join in. This means if you're not on my YouTube Health and Wellness Spot, you're missing in because all this you're missing out because all these things we advertise them here and we challenge each other to become better. We grow as a family. But as we grow as our family, we don't expect anything from each other. No, we just push this because we have goals that are in one direction. So we don't want to expect anything from each other because that is the source of disappointments. Expecting the government will bring chemotherapeutic agents, expecting the government has to bring in HIV drugs, expecting the government has to come in during this flooding time, expecting. When it doesn't happen, you get so upset, you become resentful, and now your stress levels are going up, your cortisol level is going up, inflammation in the system is going up. That is how you start messing your system up from within. So you think that everybody who is without is to blame for your problems, but your problem came from within. Because of course you attract the energy that you're portraying from in to the outside. So whoever you're blaming is actually a portrait of yourself because you attract who you are. Sorry for another day. Let's continue. So number one side effect, of course, oral ulcers and gastric ulcers and the chronic gastritis. Number two, of course, the nausea and vomiting. You know, you inject once, they are vomiting instantly. Nausea and vomiting is there. So that is the GIT symptoms. On the skin, on the integumentary system, the skin, you start losing hair. You start having thin hair and very brittle hair. The good thing is the last one that goes is the eyelashes. So ladies, sometimes when you wear those those eyelashes that you blink from so far, please tell us something. Is there something that we need to know? Are you okay? Because chemotherapeutic agents can actually clear your hair, and it's non-selective, not just on your head, everywhere, including your pubic hair. Of course, on your pubic hair you have some advantage, but you see that that is capitalizing on the side effects of chemotherapeutic agents, so we cannot go that direction. Okay, so yes, you lose hair, you'll have very brittle hair, very bad hair, you'll start having very rough skin, and now you need to apply coconut oil. But what do you do? What do you do, ladies, when you have a rough skin? You go and buy a whole kit of skin products that are rich in mercury, that will destroy your kidneys and your liver. And the liver is the home that produces your immunoglobulins, your immune system. Your kidneys are the ones that protect you from getting anemia. They protect you, they filter chemicals and toxins out of the body. But you bring in a skin product that is actually carrying mercury that destroys your kidneys. And then you're wondering where you started getting hypertension from. You're wondering how your cancer is not disappearing from your system. So please, simply use coconut oil on your skin. If you've suffered these consequences of a patient who has cancer and taking chemotherapy, start using coconut oil. It's very good for your skin, okay? So that is the skin. Loss of hair and dry skin. Very dry and very bad rough skin. Starts to crack. Another one, of course, when it comes to the gonads, the reproductive system, of course, you lose your ovaries. And this can be temporary or permanent sterilization. So you lose your manhood, you lose your ovaries, and therefore permanent or temporary sterility and infertility. So now you see, as we go down to get to the side effects, each of them is coming in. And you see, these drugs also mess up your kidneys. And they are part of the drugs that are highly toxic to the kidneys and the liver. So when they mess up your kidneys, what do you expect? You will be unable to excrete salt. So problems with water retention. You will be unable to convince your bone marrow to give you red blood cells. That tells you anemia is there. And you see, even before I talk about the kidneys, another side effect coming from the skeletal muscle, skeletal system, the bones, bone marrow suppression, severe bone marrow suppression. Now, you might treat cancer and come back with severe bone marrow suppression. Therefore, your immunity will be low. Therefore, infections come in. And also remember, the chemotherapeutic agents suppress your immunity through this mechanism. So that's another side effect, low immunity. That's why the ladies will keep on having the recurrent yeast infections. Therefore, still be on antibiotics. So you just take one chemotherapeutic agents. You have bad skin, you have mouth and gastric ulcers, you have severe nausea and vomiting, you have bone marrow suppression, you have kidney disease and kidney failure, you have loss of hair, you have nerve damage, you have metallic taste in your mouth, and even sometimes loss of taste and sensations in your mouth because they destroy the taste buds. And now each one of these, we need another drug. Now you end up with a prescription with more than 10 drugs. Now you understand the basics because you actually took one drug that messed up your system. And that's the reason why I always insist that drugs don't come with side effects, but drugs do. So it's up to you to think twice about that. So you still have even fatigue. And even after radiation, these people come out with a lot of fatigue. So these side effects are running across the board. Whether it's radiation, whether it's chemotherapy, they are running across the board. If it's surgery, you come back with complications of surgery. And again, after the surgery, for example, the breast, you remove the part that is actually having the cancer, and then you have to again do a radiation to kill the remaining cells. Because surgery cannot remove all those cells. But even if you're doing a radiation therapy, you're actually exposing your cells and your DNA to mutation. That is another form of cancer. So therefore, another side effect of cancer drugs is cancer. And cancer therapy is cancer. So if you are literally, totally, and 100% relying on chemotherapeutic agents to actually help you recover from cancer, how about the cancer that will come as a side effect of the same drugs? How about the low immunity? How about the severe anemia because of bone marrow suppression? How about osteoporosis because of the weak bones? How about the kidney damage? How about the liver failure? How about the hair loss and the bad skin? How about the brain damage and the nerve damage? How about the next cancer that is coming in? Are you able, is your salary able to help you treat all these conditions that are coming with one chemotherapeutic agent? So instead of singing that the government should provide these drugs, we should be singing that our dietary guidelines should be reviewed. That our dietary guidelines should be reviewed, and we should just stop following guidelines, because your great grandfather had no guidelines for diets. If they had a guideline, it was here. So they had the blueprint already in their heads for dietary modification, the guidelines. Not the ones that came in 1977 through South Africa. And South Africa, I think South Africa is having a serious problem because South Africa is the one that is actually bringing in a lot. I don't know if it's because you got independence late. South Africa is the country that's actually allowing a lot of these things that are coming in from the West. So some of the things we learn from South Africa. Hey, South Africans in the building. So as you rely, yes, somebody is saying here, but the same government is introducing GMO seeds. As you rely to the government to bring you, now you see, it's the scheme that I told you, the agriculture and the food industry, agriculture, food industry, and then the big pharma, and then in between is the media. So the media will advertise this, and then you buy them, you eat those foods. The same media will advertise chemotherapeutic agents to you and surgery. So as much as you sit there and think that your regulatory bodies and the government is supposed to come in and change your life, your health is your own personal concern. It's not the government's. That same government brought in GMO seeds. That same government brought you the fake fertilizer. And now the insurance companies are coming in with these new packages for cancer people. Let me laugh. Your famous insurance company is coming in with the new package for the cancer people, that now we can give you an insurance cover for chemotherapy, we give you an insurance cover for surgery, and then we will give you an insurance cover for the aftermath of what these things cost you. So keep eating what you're eating. We have a solution for you. Keep doing the same things that you've been doing all through. We have a solution for you. Keep living the same things, the same lifestyle, but expect different results, because we will bring different results through our solutions, the insurance policies. Do you listen? And then we will make sure that we advertise this insurance policy on the media. But before we advertise this insurance policy on the media, we will make sure that the same media sells you fear, tells you how bad cancer is. We put billboards of people who have died from these bad conditions to scare you. Once you're scared, even your immune system goes down, because your immune system starts from your head. Once you bought the fear successfully, of course, I have you as a client for a lifetime. So anytime you would log into that TV station or that radio station, you're seated there in the morning listening to those two gentlemen, thinking they care about you, that they care about your marriage, they care about making numbers and profits. For them, it's a job. The other radio station that hired that lady who eats everything, you think they care about you, they care about the numbers that are coming with this lady. There's no authenticity at all in the media houses. They are there running their advertisement every time. You're seated there on the jam listening to your favorite media presenter. You're seated there thinking that your favorite politician will say something today. Says nothing about cancer because he has no idea. Right now, doctors are on strike. Nobody's saying anything. The systems are rogue, but the same doctors who are on strike, even if something is said, they still come back and regurgitate the same things, the same syllabus that they studied. A syllabus that's actually coming from the West. We have no problem with the medical syllabus and the pharmacy syllabus and the nutrition syllabus. We don't have a problem. We have a problem with you regurgitating the same syllabus and not asking questions that need to be asked. You have the knowledge. Your patient or your client doesn't have this knowledge. You have the knowledge about medicine. You don't ask these questions because you're part of that scheme. You're actually one of the rogue people. You sit back, and by the way, let me give you a story. If you ever walk in that cancer center, now you see we have centers nowadays. We isolate those centers. Why? Because we know if these fumes and these chemicals come in contact with other people, we will have an overload in these cancer centers, because these drugs are actually going to cause cancer. So we make sure we isolate you into a center, just like the Diabetic Society. So now when you walk into that center, you see the desperation on these people's faces. These people are even thinking they will die. So if they survive from this cancer through this chemotherapy, they celebrate it. They celebrate it by cutting cakes without even knowing it's actually going to take them back. Going through sessions of chemotherapy is hectic. It's hectic. Look at your pharmacist, the oncology pharmacist, protecting himself so madly not to get in contact with the drugs that he's actually preparing to come and put in your vein. You start knowing that there's something wrong. Normally, the public hospitals, you find even the pharmacist or the pharmaceutical technologist counting tablets, the paracetamol, the amoxicillin, counting them with the hand, which is a very, very bad technique. The contamination that is coming, but they're counting them with the hand. They're dispensing the drugs in an envelope to you. Look at that chemist that you go to in town every time. They are selling drugs and they're giving them with their hands. They are not protecting themselves from anything. But walk into a cancer center, the message is clear that this is actually a no-go zone. This is a danger zone. All these warnings on the walls. And then this pharmacist comes in. He's the one to prepare the chemotherapy that is going deep into your veins. But look at him wearing those double gloves. Look at him wearing that mask, the double masks, and the facial shield. Look at him wearing the double gown. Look at him wearing the boots. And he comes and sits in, and in front of him is a fume chamber. Do you remember fume chamber in high school? The one that we used to mix things there so that the fumes, when they come out, they don't get to you. The one that there is a whole shade here. There's a whole mirror here to protect you from getting in contact with anything that is coming or spilling off from what you're mixing. And now they put their hands into that fume chamber. And now they're busy mixing those agents from there to make them active. But they are afraid that if these things get to them, it will cause them cancer, skin cancer. If that chemical lands on your skin, it will cause you skin cancer. So you're protecting yourself from that agent. And then you mix it, you load it in syringes, and then you put them on a tray and get them to a nurse. And that nurse is also protected. And now that nurse is going to inject it directly into your veins. As you sit on that chemotherapy table or chair, waiting for this drug to get into your veins, and as it gets into your veins, instantly you start vomiting. You even vomit, you are near vomiting your lungs. And now we have to give you another drug to stop you from vomiting because this drug has to go into your veins. By force or by fire. You cannot vomit. Why would you vomit? So we put it into your veins. And we start giving you hope. We start selling you hope that you will recover from this. But the hope is fake. Why? Because nobody's talking to you about where you got the cancer from. Everybody's telling you this is abnormal multiplication of cells. These cells are abnormally multiplying. And then you ask them, why are they abnormally multiplying? How then did I just wake up one day and my cells are rapidly multiplying abnormally? They cannot control themselves. Nobody's answering these questions. They tell you it's an unknown cause. They call it idiopathic. Idiopathic means there's an unknown cause. So basically your doctor is saying, I'm treating something that I don't know. One day you'll sit on that throne and God will judge you harshly. This is not me saying you stop your chemotherapeutic medication. No. This is me telling you that if you want to prevent yourself from cancer, if you want to limit that cancer spread, fix that kitchen and start fasting. As you eat a zero carbohydrate diet and the sugars go into the bin and the inflammatory foods, the seed oils, the wheat products, the sugars go into the bin, you are already on your way to survival. You will start fasting and you start boosting your immunity by over 300%. So this fasting that we are doing is not punishing ourselves. It's actually us trying to live a life that is fulfilled and adding life to adding more life to our whole being. We are trying to make sure that our systems are clean. We are trying to make sure that we can live to that century with good hearing, with good vision, with good health. So that when we decide now it's time for us to rest, we let other people continue with what we were designed to do. But as you eat those foods, as you mess up your system, and you go to that hospital, that cancer center, you are admitted there thinking that those chemotherapeutic agents will change your life. That surgery is going to change your life. It is a temporary solution. If you survive, thank God, and now start fixing what has to be fixed. Change the kitchen and start fasting. There is a cancer that is called angiosarcoma. Angiosarcoma is cancer of your blood vessels. This is one of the cancers that come as a result of radiation. People who have taken their breasts off and then you've done radiation, you expose your veins to that radiation. You come back with cancer of the blood vessels. Now you tell me, which surgery can fix cancer of the blood vessels? Which surgery will fix that? So stay very vigilant. Stay very vigilant. Open your eyes. When somebody is preaching something about health, ask them questions. Ask me questions. I'm not here to impose my teachings on you. Ask me questions. Make those questions difficult. Make them difficult. Because health is a universal language. The illness that I'm doing here to someone's patient, my relative in the village is suffering the same things. How many of you go ahead and you're so corrupt at your job, you steal money, but you use this money to buy the sodas, the wheat products, the seed oils, the sugars, and ferry them to the villages, to your mothers and your fathers? How many of you? So you think you stole from somebody in town because you're that guy, you have that opportunity to steal, but you still go to the supermarket and load a whole trolley with very unhealthy foods and ferry them to the villages. Now you've encouraged them not to sell or to eat those sweet potatoes, but to wait for you at the end of the month to send them something so that they can go and buy the breads and the chapati. And I put up a post today, I said, nowadays people are so interested in eating products than eating foods. So therefore your father, who is a farmer, has organic chicken, and he actually breeds the organic eggs. But he'll carry these organic eggs to the market to go sell these organic eggs and this organic chicken to somebody, and then sit in a restaurant and enjoy chips or fries and broiler chicken that has been deep fried in seed oils. And he thinks he has made it because his farming is doing well. Same father has grass-fed cattle or livestock at home, milk them and takes this milk to the market, sells that milk and goes to the supermarket to buy yogurt. Because yogurt has probiotics, right? Your mother sells pumpkins, butternuts, green bananas, potatoes in the markets, struggles with the day in the market selling these potatoes and convincing customers to buy them because most of the people don't like them. They don't want to buy these things. And then after selling these sweet potatoes, as she's coming back home from the market, she goes through that shop, takes sugar, takes bread, takes margarine, and comes back home to fix your breakfast table tomorrow. And pasteurized milk, the packet milk, comes and fixes your breakfast table. And now you've been made to hate black so much. You've been made to hate all your natural foods. But these same foods, when they are processed, you enjoy them. Our coffee is taken from here, taken to the United Kingdom, processed through that company, and then it's brought in a glass container. And now because it has class, you take it and buy it expensively and you never complain. But coffee is here. You don't want the roasted coffee. You say it's bitter. But class tells you the one that is packaged already and coming back as an import is the best coffee. Who bewitched you? Who bewitched us that we have to come in town and shop the unhealthy foods and take them to the villages so that they die? And then, of course, because we have some status, we will afford the drugs. Because we have marketed the insurance policies, we will afford them. We have an insurance cover, right? I don't have a problem with money. I have a problem with the disease. But you're feeding the same disease. So somebody told you that that insurance cover is going to actually cover your life. Eat the same foods, but expect different results, right? When I tell you to fix the kitchen, you tell me that healthy foods are expensive. They are for the rich. But you're saying that when I look at your shopping trolley in the supermarkets, because you've made it, you're moving the supermarket trolley all around the shelves, and you're picking every simple processed food on the supermarket shelves, chocolates, ice cream, yogurt, seed oils. Nowadays, you don't even struggle picking a seed oils. You'll only look at the prices, the one that has an offer and the one that is cheap. And now they know. So they either attach some soap there or they attach another half a liter on the 5 liter so that you can just take it easily, put it on the shopping trolley, and you move. And you're seated there typing on my comment section that healthy living is for the rich, that fasting is shakahola. So now because you can afford it, you will eat yourself to death. Please be very cautious about your health. Now, my people on TikTok, it's time for you to have a conversation with me as we close this down. If you've not learned anything from this, at least the question that you should be asking, how should we fix our kitchen? Simply go to my YouTube. It has all these videos, the diet plans, how to fix the gut, how to, even cancer videos are there. They are there. So don't waste time. Don't ask those stupid questions. Go there and fix yourself. If you're on chemotherapeutic agents, if you've done a surgery for cancer, we are sorry about that. Possibly this information did not get to you earlier. But there's no one who is late for healthcare. That's the beauty about this. Nobody is late for healthcare. You can still fix yourself, you can still recover from that cancer, and you can still lead a fulfilling life free of medications. So simply go through the process. But as you go through the process, fix the kitchen and start fasting. Kitchen and fasting will help you recover from the side effects of those drugs. Number two, it will help you actually suppress the cancer faster. Above all, it will clear inflammation. Therefore, you will not suffer the consequences. So your body will start building an immune system that will actually protect you from the side effects and from even future occurrences of cancer. So fix the causes by fixing the kitchen and fasting instead of fixing the symptoms by going for surgery and chemotherapy. Yes, Pauline Nungu says, my friend says Mulimpia tapewa mbinguni. They always say that statement. They always say that statement. Almost always. Until they get to suffer. Just wait until this friend of yours has a migraine. A severe migraine. And see how they run to the pharmacy. I just need Betapin. I need this drug. I need this drug. They are so quick to run to the pharmacy to buy drugs to fix their symptoms. They drink that alcohol, a whole 1 liter of alcohol. They make it go down in one night. Tomorrow they are suffering the consequences of alcoholism, the hangover. They are busy in the pharmacies buying medication to treat the hangover. Why? Why don't you just sit there and wait to die and get a new body in heaven? They say that all the time. You tell them about fruits. They tell you, God designed fruits for us to eat them. Why don't you eat a dog? God designed a dog too. Why don't you eat a donkey? God designed the donkey too. So just because it's there, should we eat it? And they say that until they get on that amputation table, until they get that dialysis, until they get that disease that is whipping them hard. They start spending money. They start spending, their health is deteriorating. They're losing weight. People are telling them, hey, you're going to die. You have to go to hospital. That is the time they start paying attention. And now they come into my inbox and they want free consultation. But I've put this information there for free. And they are the same people who are saying, mbinguni tutapewa mwili mpya. We will all die anyway. If we will all die anyway, why don't you just cross a highway? Because we will all die anyway. You take cautions because you know that you're afraid of death. Anyway, let me bring in some people on TikTok for a conversation so that we end this. Now, all those questions you can ask them through my consultations, 0707 07 47 22. Use WhatsApp to communicate to that contact, because that contact, if you call it, right now it's out of service. But if you text on WhatsApp, you'll get a response for a reason. There's a reason why it's that way. Number two, there's a weight loss program that is going to start on 15th of this month. Be part of it. It's a 2-month vigorous program. So use the same contact to actually contact our offices. You'll get a response, pay. Once you pay, you get joined into the group, and we start our journey on 15th. There are 2 weight loss groups that are actually coming to an end the next week. And that's why we are doing a 72-hour fast to celebrate the journey that we've walked with those people. And if they're here, they will wave. They will show you that we've been through a journey of 3 months and others have a journey of 2 months. So we are finishing all those two groups. There's another weight loss group that is actually going on. It's actually into its second week, yes. And then there's another one that is coming in. So each month there is a weight loss group. So if you miss this month, there's always the next one. But you see, they alternate. So we have a 3-month program, and then it comes a 3-month program, and then a 2-month program. 3 months, 2 months. So basically, this is a 2-month program for May. For June, it shall be a 3-month program. So if you're still fresh and new to this, I would prefer you join the June one, because it's a 3-month program. It's an easy one to join in. But this one is an aggressive one. Good. So let's bring some people into our conversation. So use that contact to book. And if you're not on my YouTube, simply go on YouTube and subscribe. Health and Wellness Sport. We need to get to 100,000. We will get. We are at 25,000. That's basically a quarter. Very soon we are at half, and we finish it and crack it open. So I'm going to talk to Luanga. Then I'll follow up with Winnie. then African Lady and Ruth, and we call it a night. And Ruth Benjamin. Those 4 people have requested already to be here. So let's see what happens. Yes, Luanga.
Yes, doctor. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. Long time without talking to you, but the information I got from you, it is very, very, very good. You give it to us free, so we spread it to free.
Thank you, man. Thank you, and I appreciate. I enjoy doing this because it's like a calling.
Wallah, God bless you. I cannot even say how much, but I don't know how I will even pay you. But I have some questions.
Yeah.
Which have been burning me severely, but I could not afford to ask because of jam on the line. Doctor, I'm sorry to take you back on diabetes.
Yeah.
But I would like to know why, because before I was too big, now I became too much small. Before I didn't know that I'm taking 99% carbohydrates since morning to evening. I didn't know about this, but I could go on taking metformin, blah, blah. But my sugars couldn't go down until I started fasting.
Thank you.
Now here the question, Doc.
Yeah.
I'm doing 24-hour fasting daily from Monday to Monday. So I don't know whether it is good or I should be eating normally. Then I do like the 48 hours you recommend to us at the top of the week.
But you see, an OMAD is a way of life. It's not the way you're putting it. Like it's an abnormal way of eating. An OMAD is good for people, and actually I think an OMAD should be the best way of living. But if you can't do an OMAD, you can easily do a 2MAD, a meal at noon and a meal at 8:30. That's basically the best way.
Okay.
Yeah. So the 48-hour fast is not coming in to fix problems that you did throughout the week. It's actually just a way of life. That 1 meal a day, which is a 24-hour fast every day, and then a 48-hour fast, possibly after 2 weeks, for those of you who have adapted their lives already. Yeah.
Because by the time I got onto this live, I immediately stopped metformin because I've been taking it for some time and I've been getting side effects, burning feet, blah, blah. But now I'm feeling okay. I have power. I just have a problem with the eyes, blue eyes. I cannot have my vision well. Mostly during the night when I'm driving, I have to put on glasses.
How long have you been on this journey?
I think now 4 years.
On the journey of diabetes or on the journey of healthy living?
No, journey of healthy living, just I think 1 month ago.
Good. So do this. Don't even bother stopping. Don't even bother stopping. Continue with that 24-hour fast every day, and you can push a 48-hour fast after 2 weeks. You just skip 1 weekend and do a 48-hour fast after 2 weeks. That will fix your problem. You start gaining weight, your vision will come back. So for now, be patient with yourself. It's only 1 month into it. Continue pushing yourself harder so that you get adequate and optimum remission. After that, you can now start living a healthy life, which is basically what you're targeting.
Doctor, another question.
I will only give you a chance for one question. Why? Because I'm going to close this down.
Okay. It's enough.
So I think the other question will ask me on the other platform.
All right.
Thank you.
Doctor, there was one.
I will have to end you, Luanga, because I just want one question from everybody because I want to leave. And on YouTube, I've seen a gentleman that I've always admired, and man, this journey started from back then when this gentleman was busy doing his thing. This is Robert SFDC. Robert, welcome on board. I appreciate you being here. I have seen you work all over, and it's just been tremendous. And thank you so much for coming through to this live. And I hope to see you soon on our upcoming streaming platform, Build in Africa by Kenyans. You can count on me on that one, bro. You know very well you can do that. We need to change lives, and that will be a pleasure, bro. So thank you so much for coming through. Someone said a glass of coffee is 100% freeze-dried, hence as good as local roasted one. Simply enjoy local roasted coffee, bro. We don't need to listen to what people have been saying. We listen to what and observe what our great grandfathers used to do. That's what we go with. Any other thing is a story. Next is Winnie. Where is Winnie? Winnie the Sue. In Lodwa, somebody is saying, listen to this, Winnie. Kefa Ogwell is saying, in Lodwa, people eat donkeys, but not dogs. They also eat camels, cows, and goat meat. So my question is, why do people select what to eat? Why do you think people eat? Anyway, story for another day. Winnie, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, I've been following your page for quite some time, and recently my father, who is 77, he was diagnosed with cancer of the lungs.
Okay.
Something to do with he had bladder cancer. Then the doctors were telling us that it had spread to the lungs.
Okay.
Yeah. So
questions from me now to you. What is your cooking oil?
I use ghee.
From when? Since when?
Since January this year.
Your father uses the same?
He uses the olive. Is it olive? Olive oil, yeah.
Does your father consume any carbohydrate? Bread, chapati, mandazi, spaghetti, sweet potatoes, and all that, even the complex carbohydrates. Does your father consume those?
Yes, he does.
Oh. Okay, okay.
But, yeah, he's been. I wouldn't say that. He's been on no carb since March, but anyway, let me just say he's been using the carbohydrates.
How long have you been on this live?
Since January. Is it December?
No, on this live. Today's live.
The onset when you started the live.
What have you learned from the live?
That I've just learned about the different types of chemotherapy and the effects. Actually, those ones. Yes, those ones only. Yeah.
I think the best thing for you to do is tomorrow simply log in on my YouTube and look at this live again from the beginning to the end and write notes. That will be the best advice I can give you, because if that is what you got from this live, the only thing you got from this live, well, there's even a time I said the only thing, if you didn't get anything from this live, there are only two things that you should get from this live. There's the time I said that if you didn't get that, then it's very difficult for me to help you for now. But again, just log in and check it out. Man, I don't know how I'll be able to push this information into your heads, guys. It's difficult. Please don't do that. Don't do that. Don't just be an attender. You're in attendance. Simply listen. Listen keenly and pick the points that are important. I don't put out these topics for no good reason. I put them out because I have a reason. Why Winnie. Really? African lady. Now 2 more to go. So African lady and then Ruth, and we call it a night. We fix the kitchen and the gut. Yes, Grace Njenga. That's the basic. And I say just fix the kitchen and start fasting. Is that easy? Yes, African lady, how are you?
I'm quite fine, and you?
I'm doing good. Why are you so low? We are unable to hear you clearly.
Oh my goodness. How about now?
Yeah, that is better.
Okay. Yeah, what do I call? First of all, I want to say thank you for.
I am not able to hear you clearly, please. Are you using an earphone or an earpiece?
No, no at all. No.
Because there's some background noise that is actually we are unable to hear you clearly. So yeah, go ahead and keep going. Okay, what were you saying?
I just want to say thank you for all the lecture that you are giving.
Mm-hmm.
I am a cancer survivor who come from through everything that you have said.
Oh, you're a cancer survivor.
Yes, I do.
Where are you from?
I'm from Kenya. I'm
Oh,
from Cielo.
okay, okay, uh-huh.
Yes. So, what do I call everything that you have said
Yes.
is very true. And I went through the surgery, the chemo, and all kind of medication. And then also went through alternative medicine afterward.
Man, there's a lot of background echoes from your side, and we're not able to hear you. This is interesting. I don't know how we'll fix your background noise.
Shall I drop and then come up again?
I think you should do that. Yeah, because the background noise is too much. So meanwhile, let's go to Ruth and then we come back to you. Ruth just dropped, so I'll take next in line, which is Georgie. Now, I'm going to end this on possibly on YouTube so that we. Yes, Georgie.
Yeah, hi Doc.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. So last year I had very serious problems with gut issues, bowel movements, and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and I resolved to dropping all carbs and sugars for a whole year,
Yeah.
and I dropped about 28 kilos, and the bowel issues ended. But I just got a question. What's your take on carnivore diet? Because I've recently just eating a lot of proteins, and I'm okay. My bowel issues were solved.
What is your
So I'm
question
just
again?
wondering, is there what's your take on carnivore diet? Like for the long term, will it be an issue now?
Okay. If you've been on my platforms for quite some time, you'll realize I hardly classify foods into carnivore diets, keto diets, and vegan diets. Why? Because we actually have an approach that combines, that gives health on a holistic approach. Why? Because we combine the vegans because we need the vegetables for the vitamins. We combine the carnivore diets also because we need the meats. And then we combine also the keto diets because they produce the ketone body. So we do all this and come up with a schedule that is easier and is manageable. And why do we do that? Because we know you cannot rely on carnivore diets alone without consuming the vegetables. Where will you get the vitamins from? And they are very essential. We cannot talk about vegan diets alone because those who are advocates of vegan diets are actually demonizing the carnivore diets. So I start thinking, why are they demonizing carnivore diets? But again, where are they getting the essential amino acids from? Where are they getting the fats from?
Okay.
So I combine all of them and give you a holistic approach to healthcare that will actually benefit you and also me. So I hardly classify them into keto, carnivores, but you see, keto is actually coming in between. So you combine both the carnivore and the vegan diets. So keto is actually at least the best one for me.
But would you agree that carbohydrates and sugars are not essential?
I always say that 101%. There is no essential carbohydrate. There's none. Because if you don't eat carbohydrates, there's no deficiency condition. But if you eat them, there's always a condition attached to it. But the beauty about it is there's no way you can go on a zero carbohydrate diet because vegetables have fiber and fiber is carbohydrate. So therefore, if you're talking about whole carbohydrates, the tubers and the grains, and you're talking about the simple and processed carbohydrates, I will tell you for free, there is no essential carbohydrates.
Thank you very much
You're welcome.
for your response.
You're welcome, sir. Carbohydrates are what we call sugars in medicine. They just end up being converted to sugars, and sugars are our enemies for now. So let me see if this lady from Isolio is back, and then we call it a night. Now, next week I think we should have our testimonial Tuesdays. Next week we're having a testimonial Tuesdays. So purpose to attend, okay? African ladies back. Purpose to attend our testimonial Tuesdays. Bring your testimony along. That will be on Tuesday from 8 all the way to 10 p.m. We are doing a testimonial Tuesday. So bring your story.
Hello, Doctor.
Yes, welcome back. At least now there's no echo, so let's continue. What are you saying? You said you're a survivor from which type of cancer?
Cancer.
Which cancer?
Breast cancer.
Breast cancer. Did you have a surgery?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So
I
take
I
us.
had lumps.
I don't know, man.
I
I don't know. What is happening? Hello, lady. Yes, African lady. Can you hear us?
Yes, loudly and clear.
You see, now you're clearer. But when you start talking, there's a background noise that is coming in, an echo.
Okay.
Yeah, continue talking now. We can at least hear you.
I said I had lumpectomy.
Okay.
Yeah, and reconstruction.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had the chemo.
Mm-hmm.
The side effect of chemo, still struggling with it, even, but still.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I have to cut you down because we are not able to hear you clearly. I don't know what happened there. I don't know. No, she's not on earphones. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to call it a night because again we have to rest. We have a fast going on. Join in the fast. If you don't even prepare for the fast, just join in. It's not that difficult. So thank you for joining us this night. We appreciate you. 127 people who watched us on YouTube and 300 plus people watching us from TikTok. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for the gifts that you've given us. Thank you for the super chats that you've given us. Thank you for those of you who keep on sending us M-Pesa, because I always see that. So thank you for that. Thank you for supporting us. If you're not on my YouTube, go there and subscribe. Health and Wellness Sport, 100,000 loading. We want it. We want it so bad so that we can be heard. So go there and subscribe and support. Also join my Telegram channel, Health and Wellness Sport. And this is Dr. Lewis from the Health and Wellness Sport. Thank you so much for being part of us. Have a good night.